Minor, really? Holy cow. Holy cow. Holy cow. There we are. Holy cow. Hey there, fellas. I am currently at the test track, and we are going to do some experimenting. You'll see that I've got 3 cars parked behind me. These 2 cars have already been featured before, and they are in quite a state of disarray. Hey, at least the Volvo can still drive. Behind me I've got a lot of station wagon. And here's what we're doing. There are a bunch of videos on YouTube, I mean, hell. You see this a lot in real life as well. I've seen it happen myself. So let's imagine you're pulling a car, or getting your car pulled. Sometimes it so happens that somebody flies right in between you. So this actually happens, and things can go in very different ways. And while we still have 3 cars at our disposal, let's simulate those sorts of scenarios. See what occurs. Enough talk, let's go smash some cars. Alright, everything is ready, and now we are going to be conducting our first test. What would that be exactly? I'm gonna get up to speed while towing a car behind me. And let's assume I run into an obstacle. I navigate it, and by obstacle I mean a car that drives out from the right, or maybe a pedestrian. We want to find out how the cars are going to behave. I don't know what gear that is, but here we go. And now we've got... What just happened? 5 things to not do when towing a car. Originally uploaded in March of 2019. Translation and voiceover by Be My Russian. Alright, now we see how the second driver reacts, when something is thrown in front of him. Couldn't handle it. I turned the wheel and the car just sort of veered off. I nearly hit the Land Cruiser. Alright guys, so we've simulated 2 situations. Now during the first run, the wheel was actually supposed to come flying towards the car we were towing. But Granny lost her marbles, and so she decided to jump in front of my car. I went for the brakes. The script says that our second driver didn't react quick enough. In reality, my brakes simply don't work. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. You can't start the car, as a result the brake booster doesn't work, and so you can't really use the brakes. And you would have seen how the head car pretty much spun out. And I wasn't even pressing the brake pedal that hard. I wasn't applying emergency braking force, but then I felt my rear end stepping out as if I was initiating a drift. When you're in a car that's being pulled, it's hard to predict what it'll do whenever the rope does something unexpected. I mean, we're all used to simply getting towed, but when something occurs out of the ordinary, like the second time, yeah, that totally caught me off guard. I saw something stepping out in front of me, that crazy granny, like you said. The only thing I could do was give the wheel a sudden turn. So yeah, I went ahead and turned the steering wheel, and since the rope was already tense and under some load, the front end lost traction. You basically got the same effect as if you were driving on ice. You turned the wheel, the car kept going straight, then you suddenly find some grip and the thing takes a hop on you. And now we're going to be simulating a similar situation, but we'll go about it in a slightly different fashion. Let's imagine you're getting your car towed, you're driving down a not very familiar road, perhaps something happened out of the ordinary, and that's not to mention the weather could be bad. You're driving during the darker hours with no artificial lighting, and so you hit the brakes hard, and you have no idea what the guy driving the car that you're towing is going to do in response. Now, Cyril isn't hearing any of this, so this should take him by surprise. That Volvo has got some pretty decent brakes, while on the Lada they barely work at all. Alright, here we go. And we've already gotten up to the sort of speed you'd be towing a car at. Full braking. And there you go. Just like during the first time. Sort of. Except that time someone threw a wheel in front of me, and I wasn't braking too hard. But this time I hit the pedal full force and even locked the wheels. And just look at how this stepped out. It was like... You made it go seriously sideways. I braked and it stopped. I don't even think we would have had a bad crash in this scenario. You think? Yeah. We did get pretty close. If the rope were a bit shorter, we would have hit each other. We are trading places this time. I'll be sitting in the car being towed while Cyril does something wild. And there you go. Holy cow. And there you go. That was one merry-go-round. That was one hell of a dance we did there. The cars were like... I feel like you might have hit me there. I definitely did not. The rope gave me a really good jolt. I'm amazed it didn't snap. It hit so hard that it felt like there has to have been a bit of slack, because when you went for the brakes, they didn't engage immediately. Had to find them first. Well, yeah, and once I saw the brake lights come on, you obviously have to keep an eye on them, and so they came on. We agreed I wouldn't use my brakes, and from there I steered clear and overtook you on the left. And that's when we did those dance moves. Now I suggest we try simulating a different situation. A rather interesting one. I'm gonna be pulling that car. Meanwhile, Cyril is going to hop into the third car and proceed to slip right in between us and try hitting the rope with his front bumper. And we'll see what happens. Wow, he just went full bonsai. Well done! Look at the mess you've made! Look at all of the shattered glass. What happened? I just really needed to drive through. You don't say. You were in such a hurry? Well, holy cow. It felt like I hit a tree stump, actually. I was so lost when we started doing that waltz. What's interesting is that the Volvo is intact, while the Lada wagon is looking somewhat beat up. The wagon wasn't carrying enough speed to zip through. Not enough speed? I wasn't necessarily trying to slip through, I was executing a lane change maneuver. You wanted to cut me off? Yeah, I was in a bit of a rush, but he didn't want to... The audacity! Did you not see that an FBI sheriff was coming through? What is it with you? You think I knew you were an FBI sheriff? Holy dude. I should try going even faster. And you should try to slip through perpendicularly. Now that'll be insane. We're getting ready for another round, because that last time the Lada wagon just drove right over the rope. All right, there we go. Holy cow. Where are you going? Goodness. Isn't that something? Amazing. At least this time we didn't get that jolt. The car didn't come to a screeching halt. Something might have gotten ripped off. Looks like it's missing a headlight. It's still attached to the wagon. What do you mean? The rope. My assumption would be, yeah, this got torn off. What do you got there? We seem to have found the headlight. We might not want to tie the rope anywhere near the headlight assembly. Let's do this again. What the? Did we tear it off again? Nope, the rope is still attached. You see? I pulled that one towards me. Really? Did you see how it hit me? No, I did not. Was it a massive hit? See for yourself. Holy cow! Told ya. Yeah, this was a big hit. Meanwhile, in the Volvo, I didn't feel a thing. As if you just drove over the rope again. So you drove onto it, pulled it down, and yanked the car. Then it stretched out again and somewhat softened the blow upon impact. Why'd it hit the rear fender, though? We need to watch the replay. Okay, so you might have run over the rope. That resulted in you yanking the other car because yours is a bit heavier. It moved forward, and in the end, gave it a little kick. It accelerated and you didn't quite get through. Did it hit the door as well? So check this out, guys. When a car drives over a rope at an angle of 90 degrees, it is impossible for the cars involved to drive away unscathed. You'll notice we had a minor collision. Wait, minor? Really? I mean, that fender is totaled. And so now we've got the two cars connected by the rear bumpers. Cyril is going to be pulling this Volvo. Yo, where are you going, you hooligan? What the hell is he doing? What is it with him? Has he gone nuts? You were driving like you were drunk. Who, me? Yeah. Are you being serious? I was following your every motion, my man. But you had to slam on the brakes, didn't you? Where would I have gone? Oh, we ran out of road? I didn't even notice. Why weren't you steering? Because I was following you. Oh, yeah. And you're so good at driving that you're not even steering? No. It's got some good steering, so I was just following you. We need to do that again, but with bad driving. We'll need a different driver. Let's see how he's able to do. Backing up. What gives? That was great, guys. Now, these sorts of towing-related experiments, they're all fun and everything, but they're not the safest. You don't want to get towed in reverse, if only for just a couple of meters. If you need to pull a car out. Vlad is a good driver, but let's imagine the driver isn't so good. He'll become overwhelmed, panic, not know what to do. And if you don't have any mirrors, then that's a wrap. Towing a car isn't really that simple of a matter. Make sure not to go too fast when pulling someone. Make sure to obey traffic laws. And do what you can to make yourself visible so that the people driving around you are aware that you are towing someone. Oh yeah, and if you're a pedestrian, you should also be on the lookout. because this happens quite a lot. When cars come to a stop and people decide to cross the road where you're not meant to. Let's say you're trying to step over the rope, I can suddenly set off and straighten the rope back out, you trip, anyway. We've torn 3 ropes, my pants were looking really good, and you saw it all for yourselves. Be careful out there and always pay attention. And that's all I got for you. Make sure to sub, send in your suggestions, comment, give us a big thumbs up. Alright, catch you later.